Okay, so we've got a pretty basic animation state. So now what I want to do is work, I guess, towards combat. What we're going to do is just remove the working on a basic combat system. Bam. So just not, no, that's not the window I wanted to resize. I want to resize this to the left. Let's go check Trello. So we want to have turn-based combat. Start with the duel, start combat. We start with one player on the left, another player on the right, and they move to the fight position and then turn to face the player. So we should change the code so I can give them a target for them to go to. It's not part of wandering. And also, actually, no, probably make it the choose location, but give it a boolean, an option of whether they wander afterwards. I think that's probably going to be good. And then we also need to modify the code so they can turn to face a specific direction at the end. Or what we need to do really is split. So at the moment, direction is based on movement, but we want them to be able to have a face direction as well. That's what we should change. So first of all, do I do that? I mentioned that first. We'll do that first, and then we want to then have the villager manager control the combat system. So let's do that. So let's go into choose location. So we want to say, no, you can't choose location. Just choose the location and gives it. Okay. Let's have a float target X and have that equal 0 by default, which then means do it like that. If target X is equal to 0, we want to set it ourselves. Else target X is equal to target X, like that. So what I did just there, when you have a function like this and you can give it parameters, if within the function declaration you say equals a value relevant to that, so obviously I said 0 is a float, which means if you call this function without a variable in there, it will just use this as a default value basically. And then I can use that as a check. So if no position was given, then what we will do is actually set one ourselves randomly. Otherwise, if it is a specific value, we'll set it and then we'll start moving. So that's what we want to do. Now what we want to do is kind of split this up. So wandering is not the same as just moving. There should be a logic for deciding once I've got somewhere, am I wandering? And there should be a logic for just, am I at my destination? So, because this logic here is really like, I have a set location. So last stream, like I said, I was getting to a point where I should probably have a state machine for the villager, so I can easily define what it's doing and we can see. So I'm going to do that now. We go into Unity. Go to scripts and then enums. I'll have a villager state. Open it up. Public enum. Villager state. So state. Always have none. At least I like to. And then we'll have wandering, moving, target, fighting. And I might change this, but for now, this is, I feel like, what I need. Ah! Hello, hello. This cool raid of the party of 4. Hello. Thank you for the raid. believe we've met. How you doing, peeps? Right, public. You just caught me in the middle of creating a state machine for a basic villager NPC / player character. Right, so, in update. I just realised how bloody dirty that is. Why did I do that? Hello, yes, every frame I would like to update the name, which should only ever really change once at the start. Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah! It's gross code. Alright. So, case. Villager state. Target. It's very similar to wandering, actually, isn't it? Oh. In this case of wandering, wait timer is complete. It's all pretty much the same, but in moving to target, we kind of just want to set X direction, really, don't we? Quick lock state machine. In moving to target, we just want to have that X direction. C. Right, we might as well copy the code. If the target position is less than the closeness factor, then target position is equal to transform position.x. The X direction to be none, and then don't set timer. Then we'll say, so he has reached target. Ain't gonna move, chief. What we can actually do already is where we have wandering, we can have a waiting. And then push that down a bit. Waiting. If we're waiting and the timer is complete, use location. Wait timer dot complete is equal to false, and then we also say villager state is equal to state dot wandering. So when we're waiting, all we need to see is if I need to stop waiting. When we're wandering, this will do. Now we won't put the if wandering thing there. If wandering is active, move to location if we're basically there. Set the new location. Don't set the new location. Start the timer for waiting, and then we need to change the state. Okay. Should also do. I set that as a default state of none. So check. Anything else I really need to change? We always want to have animation setting the X direction if it's changed. We also want to always flip. Okay. So now I can just assign a target pretty much. So if I have a villager manager, just at the start, just say villager prefab. No. Just instantiate a villager prefab. So, and then just like that code. It's very dirty, but I don't really settle on how I'm spawning stuff. I don't really mind how this is as long as it works. And then villagers.last. dot init. Say first is Rusty. And a sort order of 1, although it does make me realize I could set that to be a default value. Don't have to always do it. And then instantiate another one. And for shakes, we're going to call it rabbit. Music's fucking bopping, man. Put that as a function. And then please make that a function for me. Go to it, and then x direction is equal to... That's not what I do. Silly. What am I doing with my code right now? Jesus, come on. Target x is equal to underscore target x. If I see the finished star, I can copy the style. I'm pretty good at copying stars now. Alright, fair enough. Yeah, that works. Set. I guess choose location is kind of that, right? All it does is... Yeah, so I don't need to... I don't know why I made that function. Just as a test, we'll set one as -5. And set the other as 5. And just guess about. Choose location needs to be a... If I make it internal... There we go. The Village Manager can tell it to choose that location. So we can choose location. If that works. If they just spawn a move. Kinda. The villager state is none. Right, when I choose location. Whoa. As a default, the prefab. Could have the state set to moving to target, we'll say. And that should fix that. I think. Hey. Says moving to target, your X direction is left, your speed is 4. Your target X is 0. Why is your target X 0? Bit odd. Literally just set them, right? Use location, -5. Target X is equal to 0, set around 1, otherwise, that's equal to target X. An X direction is the math sign of target X minus. Yeah. It's an interesting start. I did not expect a problem.